Yes, so we've opened the webinar. We'll just wait for 1 minute for
Yeah.
more people to join in. People have start joining in.
Okay.
So just let more people join in, and then we'll begin. Yeah, so it's 3:30. So uh, let's begin. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. We'd like to welcome you to our webinar today on maths pedagogy in STEM, wherein we'll talk about the M in STEM, mathematics in STEM philosophy. Today's webinar is presented by ArcBook. I would like to welcome our speakers for today. Just a brief about STEM Confex India. It's an initiative by India Expo Martin Center. What we're working to create a platform for education buyers, government, school leaders, teachers, and educators in India to discover and source the latest developments in educational resources and learning technology. Our mission with STEM Confex is to help provide middle school students, high school students, and parents with the opportunity to participate in unique workshops in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. For today's webinar, I would like to welcome our panelists for today, Ms. Shilpa Goel and Mr. Nitin Madeshia. They are the co-founders of ArcBook. Just a brief about the company. Founded by a group of passionate math educators in 2017, ArcBook is a digital maths learning resource for primary schools. It has hundreds of adaptive activities aligned to every concept a student learns in primary maths. Each activity is carefully developed to be engaging and impactful on a student's maths ability. A bit about our speakers also. Firstly, Shilpa, she's done a B.El.Ed and M.Sc in mathematics and education. She's responsible for the content at ArcBook, and she's keenly involved in developing the interactions and ensuring the conceptual clarity. Nitin, also the co-founder of the company, comes with a decade-long experience with tech startups and edtech companies, and has first-hand experience designing content for various international schools by creating customized maths tools. His expertise lies in integrating technology and mathematics education. So we thank you for being on board with us today. And without further delay, I would like to hand it over to Shilpa to begin today's session. Thank you. Shilpa, over to you, please.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Jitin. I hope I'm audible because I can see on my screen it's written my internet connection is unstable.
No,
So
you're
please let
audible.
me know.
Right now,
Okay.
you're audible. We'll let you know if there's any issue.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just share my screen first. Hmm. The first thing that we have is what is M in STEM? Like Jitin already told us that M stands for mathematics in STEM. But why do we have this M in STEM? So, to understand that, we must know that STEM education helps a child to view things as a whole. When we are talking about looking things as a whole, it means we can't talk about STEM without math and math without STEM. Because when we are talking about math, everything should be connected to real life and We should take children from concrete to pictures to abstract. That is what is told in many learning theories. I will not go deep into the theories, but most of the theories tells us about how we should take concepts through real life experiences, and how schools can bring that STEM in their schools is they can look at thematic curriculum. So thematic curriculum is one of the things that they can apply in their schools. What is thematic curriculum is basically we break the boundaries of subjects. We don't say that right now we have science class, right now we have maths class, and similarly we don't talk about subject specific subject areas. We take theme as a whole. For example, let's take animal theme this week. So this week we'll be talking about animals. In various subjects we only talk about animals, so animals is the theme. We'll not call we did this thing in science today, we did maths today, and this is what we did in maths today. We'll be talking about a theme as a whole. So now I would just like Nitin to share some of the examples on how thematic curriculum can be used in a school by taking some examples. So Nitin, you
Is that we need to understand that has to break the boundaries of a subject. So one particular theme should flow across classroom. Across all subjects. If we even if we want to teach English, there should be something related to one particular topic. So for example, if we take a topic of water, when we start taking one particular topic, it is very important that we onboard students from the emotional perspective, and we create a buy-in for a particular topic. So what I'm imagining is, let's take a social class where the child understands about the water crisis, why we should not waste water, and the importance of water in our life. So that is how we build that emotional aspect, and we take in our social classroom. When we move from the social classroom to a science class, what we can do is we can help children discover that what a water cycle is, what is groundwater depletion, and then slowly moving from taking various concepts, having the theme as water itself, and building various activities where we use water in our daily life. This science class might end, but when the math class after that it starts, uh, the math teacher is very much onboarded on the same topic and starts where the science class ended. And here math starts bringing the tangible aspects to it. Okay, so how much water did a person use in a family? How much glasses of water do I drink? So these kind of concepts, math will help to uh, tangibilize, bring more meaning to it, and bring life and more understanding to one particular concept or data. So when we talk about STEM, and we talk about math specifically, what I would always like to say that science, technology, and engineering through mathematics. So we understand all of these various aspects in a holistic manner, but we understand it, make meaning of it through mathematics. So this can be one of the example. If I move to another example, it can be a food crisis. So in this example, just think about what a teacher can talk in a social classroom. So probably a teacher starts with developing again the emotional aspect, where we talk about wastage of food, world hunger problem, what kind of disparity is there between the developing countries and developed countries, and there are a lot of people who don't even have access to proper food and nutrition. When we build this kind of emotional connection with the child, slowly, probably in the science class we can go around how food grows, what are the various farming techniques, what does basically a small experiment can be done where soil is being we sow some seeds, and then how the germination process happens, and then finally the mathematics classroom will be something like, okay, when I put this much water, the growth of plant is something like this. When I put this much fertilizer, the plants grow in this particular manner. When I give something in excess, then the plant does not grow properly, it probably burns. So that kind of holistic development we can build. So when we talk about mathematics, even in the primary grades, we cannot talk about in individualistic manner. Of course, there are a lot of tools when we talk about conceptual understanding. There are a lot of tools that are there that helps us build that conceptual knowledge. But what I feel that in the primary grades, the idea should be to connect students to various basically real life, to various application. They should be able to make meaning of things, and that is the most important aspect right now. When they have done this, then probably we can start exploring mathematics in a more conceptual manner, more tangible manner. So we have lot of strategies that we generally use to develop a particular concept in mathematics. Shilpa will be going through some of those right now.
So I'll tell you about tools. First thing to know about tools is actually what are tools. So presently we have two kinds of tools: digital tools and physical tools. And all the tools act like a teaching aid for a teacher or a parent if they are homeschooling their child. So tools are very important when we are teaching something. But do we need tool always? Not always. We don't need a tool always, like what just Nitin told us, that real life experiences are equally important. So we need to go from real life experiences and then we can move to tools. Now, why do we need tools? Do we actually need tools to teach a concept? Yes, sometimes a concept needs some tools. We can't teach some concept without any tool. For example, when we give a child to measure volume of a glass and we are giving him or her some marbles, so we need something, we need some objects, or we need something to teach them that is our tool in that case. So how do we differentiate that this is a good tool and this is not a good tool? To differentiate that, we must know that more or less most of the tools are correctly made and they are sound. The main thing that we need to make sure is we know from which perspective this tool is being made, because every tool is made from a different perspective. We don't know this tool can be teaching this concept, but we are looking at it from a different perspective. So we must see a tool from perspective of the maker, and maker should make sure that the person who is looking at that simulation or that tool should be able to grasp that this tool is made from this perspective and this is the objective that it can fulfill. So to understand what tools are, basically I'll just take a few examples of what we have developed as some tools. I'll take these three examples. So understanding zero, division, and sorting and counting. So I'll just switch the tabs. This is the first activity over here. Now this is for understanding zero. Zero has two meanings. One of them is to understand nothing, like there is nothing, so zero means nothing. But the second meaning is the placeholders meaning. Like when we are writing 105, the zero has a value. It is on a particular place and it has a value. So this tool does not develop that concept, the placeholder thing. So this is made from a perspective of the nothingness, that zero means nothing. So let me just show how this is going to work. Now we have here empty the jar. We have to empty this jar. I can take out these marbles and I can wait, I can empty these marbles and I can empty this jar and put these marbles in the this bin. Now this one, okay, I think my screen has frozen. Wait, let me just refresh this. Yeah. So when I empty all of these jars, what happens is there is a feedback written. Now all the jars are empty and there are zero marbles. So that is what we are teaching in this particular tool, that when there is nothing in the jar, it means it's empty. And similarly, when we have filled the jar, we have to fill the jar. Like in this, there will be 5 marbles. In this, there will be 3 marbles. When we the accordingly, it will tell us that now all the jars are filled, but there is one jar which has zero marbles. It means that it has no marbles. Now when we move to this practice, so this was the play area, and when we move to practice, it asks us that I want the jar with zero red marbles. We need to look at all the jars and find out which jar has zero marbles. If I click on this one, it tells me it doesn't have zero red marbles. It has one of the red marbles here. But if I click on this one, it tells me it's absolutely correct. So this is how this simulation or this tool helping the child understand what zero is, but only one aspect of what zero is. Now moving to another one, over here we have, this is a division. Now in division, two concepts are again there when we are talking about division. The one is the sharing thing and the other is the grouping thing. Now in this one, we are teaching a child. Let me just show you. Then if I click on this manual and let's say I'm taking this here. So in this one, we have to divide 84 into 7 equal parts. When we are dividing 84 into 7 equal parts, it means that we are sharing 84 into 7 equal parts. Now grouping, sharing is being taught in this simulation. Now grouping ke liye we'll have a different simulation. So in this we are only talking about sharing. Now how is sharing being done? We have 7 equal we can call these containers. We have 7 equal containers over here, and we have 84. We can call this 84 blocks, and I'm giving one block to each. Now this was a tens block. I'm giving 110 to each, and when I give 110 to each, so that means I would have distributed 110 to each of them, and this is how we show in division algorithm. This is the long division way, and what we do here, we do it like this only. We have given one of 10 to each, which means we have in total subtracted, or mm, we have given 7 tens to all. So given to all is written over here, and now we'll be writing whatever is left with us in total. Sorry, here something happened. Yeah, this has to be here. Now 14 is left. Now we'll be distributing 14, and this 14 will also get over, and we'll be giving 2 to each, so 2 will be written here. This is how this simulation is made for just teaching division. In this we also have another mode, which was automatic mode. Now in automatic mode, what will happen is this long division will work automatically according to what we do in the picture area. So in that way, a teacher can just show how things are being shared, and long division will work automatically. Now moving to another simulation over here, we have, this is a sorting simulation. Now in here I have already sorted some of these plants. Let me just solve the remaining ones. So here red one goes on this side, green one goes on this side, green one goes on this side, and this blue one goes on this side. Now it is complete. Now this is where we are encouraging children to look at it from various perspectives. We are teaching math, but we are integrating an element of science over here. We are encouraging them to look at plants and how they are growing. It's very simple activity, and it's really for early graders. Like this is one of the activities for nursery students. So So now after sorting all the plants, what they can do is they can just click on each plant and see that this is one, this is two. Over here we have two plants. Moving to this one, this is one, two, and then three, then four. I can click on randomly and then show how are these plants, how many plants are there basically. So these are some of the tools over here. We have many similar tools available on our platform. And to know how we can use that tool, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube called ArcMath. And there are many videos which you can see how those tools are being taught in the classroom, how those are used in the classroom to teach. So moving forward, I just want to share one important or crucial thing when we are talking about STEM education. So over to you, Nitin. You're on mute.
Yeah, so I will take just a small. I will just like to brief what Shilpa has shown right now. So, see, there are a lot of tools that are available in the market. There are good sites that do have these tools. So, some of these sites are Seek It, and they have very specific tools which are related to the concept. One of the fundamental things that we need to understand about using these tools is about the objective. Do we want these tools to be used for concept development, or do we want these tools for the assessment part? So when we are saying concept development part, so concept development can happen in many ways. So concept development is also about observing one particular concept, comparing two things. So if I take an example of a tool, say for example of number line. Number line tool can be used as two things. It can be used to develop a concept where children there's a tool called number line which represents all the complete line. There children have teacher as a facilitator shows where we will assign a number. So in the concept development tool, the main focus is it has to be directed by the teacher. It has to be directed by the teacher. Teachers have to continuously interact with children, continuously talk to them, and develop the whole knowledge base. So see, tools are in itself dead, and teachers give life to them. And it is very much necessarily, even if we are using any tool, it should not be for the purpose of just using it. The main idea is to attend to some particular mathematics concept, what we want to achieve with that concept, and that tool must fulfill that particular objective. What happens when we go, a lot of times it happens that we are using tools in our classroom, and nothing happens if we are just using it because we are using a PowerPoint presentation. We use some videos in a classroom, but those are not the most effective tools. I did this one particular research on developing a digital interactive math book. So I took like 9 to 10 components, interactive components. So these components were divided across topics like assessment interactive tools, and concept development tools. So these were drag and drop, match the following. So these all were interactive, and I did this research with around 30 students of grade 6, to explore the concept of fraction. And there was one very interesting output that we understood, we got as an idea. All the tools which are related to a concept, very much conceptual tools, if we say, which are mathematics manipulative, contributed most to the learning outcomes. And the second most effective tools were those tools where children could visualize a concept. And then there was interactive video. So this was a video in which there were a lot of questions that came in between, and teacher had the time to facilitate, okay, why does this happen, what should be the answer to do, So those kind of tools work the best. And we also took normal video, but normal video did not actually contribute much to the learning outcomes overall. So this was about the kind of tools that we can use. Tools has to be always facilitated by the teacher. It has to be guided, and we should always know why we are using the tool. Are we using it for concept development, or we are using for assessment? So all the tools that we generally make are mostly on the lines from the perspective of a teacher. They can use these tools to develop the concept. So apart from this, apart from how tools can be, various tools can be used, these tools can definitely, a teacher when facilitating a class can always try to align these with various other topics, their application. But when we come to other strategies involving STEM education, one of the core activities that Shilpa mentioned is that I should be taking is problem solving. Now, what is problem solving? And we need to understand that in much greater depth when we talk about STEM education, because when we talk about STEM education and mathematics, we are always talking about a holistic approach to doing something. So when we talk about thematic curriculum or concept development tool, the third aspect that we feel is the most important is problem solving. And so if I ask you what problem solving is, so lot of people that we have interacted have this general notion about problem solving, that okay, the problem solving is about doing mathematics, the ability to do higher grade problems more effectively. But the thing is that problem solving is not about just doing mathematics in itself. Just imagine a situation where if you ask someone what problem are you facing right now, no one would say that I'm facing a problem of finding x. Nobody does actually relate to that. The problems that we face in general are the problems which are more emotional, which are more personal. In real life, these problems are there are a lot of instances that we get a mathematical problem when we are doing work, or scientific problem when we are doing work. But a lot of these have to deal with a problem that has to be solved for. So for example, if I just ask you my problem of probably waking up upon time, how do we achieve that? The, there are many solutions to it. One might set up a clock, alarm clock. One might ask their parents or elders or some other person to wake them on time. And someone just might have a simple solution of just opening the window and getting the first ray of the sun get in, and wake up according to that. Another example, if I take, just for a child arranging things in a pencil box. So we children have lot of things. They love to collect sharpeners, erasers, lot of colorful full pencil. But what would happen if we ask them to arrange it in one particular box, and there is just one particular arrangement possible? We are doing mathematics. We are working on spatial understanding. We are also solving a problem of getting one box to hold all their belongings. So these kind of activities actually help children to build a better understanding of what a problem solving is, help them connect to lot of things that they don't think are really available. They won't be able to directly solve the problem in general. Now, just I just wanted to give a very brief of about what a problem solving objectives of problem solving. What are the objectives? What we generally mean. So when we are developing the holistic approach of mathematics and problem solving, we should build the aptitude in children to solve unknown problems. That is, unknown problems. And also we should always think about taking children from their level of knowledge, and we should give problems that are at their level of knowledge, but they haven't done it yet. So we should help children to solve unknown problems. We should develop an attitude in children to dive deep into something. So this can be generally done when a child is very curious about something. So curiosity is also something that helps children do things that are generally that they feel that they cannot achieve all the time. But if they are curious, they want to do something, they want to deep, okay, how this thing works. If we give a legos block to children, they join these blocks and find out so many beautiful things that they can make out of it. So children should be able to dive deep and research into it. And then children should also learn to break complex tasks into relatable ideas. So just think about going from one place to another. Child has to go from point A to point B. How does that problem get solved? And when we and then in the very simple example of going from point A to point B, we include more context, like you have to reach there in half an hour, you cannot use this particular vehicle. And then the child starts thinking, okay, can I run, can I take this particular vehicle, can I jump and go, can I ask my dad to help me reach there. So they should be able to break lot of complex tasks into a simpler ideas. And then children should also see these problem solving activities in their real life daily activities. So if I say there are a lot of problem solving functions that we do in real life, the very example that I said, waking up on time, it is a problem solving activity, but they have to achieve it. Then there's also a systemic problem solving, that is one of our own major focus. So systemic problem solving majorly with us deal with understanding the system. So system thinking is one major thing that we generally promote as part of our organization. Also, I will share my screen and take one of the example here. So I will just do it. I will just share my screen. uh, so if everyone can see, so this is one example of system thinking. So this graph, this chart is a very interesting tool when we talk to children about solving problems. So I have this place, this lockdown, school closed, and lifestyle diseases. What I need to do, there are various statements on the left, and I need to place these statements in the exact places so that everything starts making sense. So this is a causal effect. Lockdown led to this led to another thing. But when we go more deeper into system thinking, it is all about how one thing is connected to another, how a problem can only be understood when we understand the whole system and not just the isolated parts. So I will just say lockdown led to malls that were closed. Lockdown led to say people lost jobs. And then lockdown led to schools closed, then probably closing of schools caused online classes, and people lost job, then it means then people were staying at home. And then parks were closed. Parks were closed as a result of lockdown. Then children were not able to go outside to play, just because lockdown led to parks getting closed, and parks getting closed led to children not going outside to play. And then schools getting closed meant not able to meet friends. So this activity involves lot of thinking. I just knew I had done this a lot of time, that it was easier for me. When you give this the very same thing to a person who has not seen this chart, they find it difficult. They put it one thing here, then they try, then they say, oh, where will people staying home goes, can I put it here? But don't put it here. So it helps them visualize the whole system, not just individual part, and how things are connected to each other. And STEM education is child is able to understand various aspects combining science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So they combine the whole thing together, find out interesting ideas out of it, and make sense of the world in a much better way. So in order to sum up, I would just say that we must start thinking about mathematics in a more real life manner, connecting it to real life applications, rather than just seeing it as one thing in isolation which needs to be taught. So another idea that we generally have, Shilpa, if you can just share the screen or your screen. So in order to promote these activities, we ourselves conduct a monthly event, in fact not just an annual event, a monthly event, where we help children dive one like painting. So this competition that we conduct every month, it is a pi square, so it is conducted every first Sunday of every month, and in this we take up lot of interesting problems which are both real life problem solving and as well as mathematical problem solving. So this is what we have in general. If there's any question or something, we can definitely take up, or Shilpa, if you want to take up something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so,
Yeah. Hi.
yeah, thank you for sharing all these details with us. It's very nice. I hope everybody's understood. I just wanted to ask you a few
Yeah.
questions. See, I saw that in your portal you use a lot of gamification in teaching. All these skills, that whether it's division. Is there a specific reason that you've used gamification to teach kids? Are there any studies or theories behind it that make it better?
Yeah. So see, one of the major thing when children generally learn is you have to build that curiosity aspect in
Right,
children. Children must actually enjoy learning first, and then probably they will adapt to probably go. They will be ready to learn something. So that actually the game concept of gamification generally comes from that aspect. And in order to understand gamification in a conceptual manner, there's lot of confusion in the market also. So lot of people, what they do, take gamification as just the ability to solve questions. So what they will do is just give assessment,
right,
one assessment, and they will just keep giving the points. And that is and that they feel that it is a gamification concept. We have brought gamification into mathematics. But if we talk about mathematics completely from the conceptual point of view, now I will just take a very small example. I want to walk in say, imagine a game. A person has to go from point to A to point B, and and there's one way to achieve this. I give a correct answer. This character is able to move from point A to point B. This is one level of gamification. Now integrating maths to it. If I answer 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, the character moves just 5 steps. Now, if I
right,
answer 5 plus 3 equals 8, the character moves 8 steps. Now, this involves integrating gamification to a level that it makes sense also. Not just for the sake of integrating gamification. Okay, I have integrated gamification. Children are getting points, and they are motivated to take it up. So that's one of the reasons that we feel that it is also an essential part of lot of things that we do.
right. Got it. One of the questions that we received was what kind of resources are available, on your portal for teachers to be used in this time of e-learning and digital learning. What kind of resources are available with your company? So
Shilpa?
any of you
So,
can answer.
so we have three things basically. First is the simulations or the activities that I just showed. Those kinds of activities are there. The second thing is the worksheet. Now, worksheets are the downloadable worksheets which teachers and parents can download, and children can do it using a pen paper thing, and they can then check everything like that. Third thing is the practice thing. Now, since we have online practice, children can put in the answer, and the answers will be automatically checked, and teachers can look at their reports and everything. Like, this child has done this much, this child has done this much, and presently we are even finding out how children are doing in the simulations that I have shared.
Okay.
Like in the zero wala part, so children can like empty all the jars, and all the data will be stored, and teachers will be able to see how much the child was able to complete. Was the child able to empty all the jars? Was the child able to fill the jars accordingly? So all those things will be stored, and teachers will be able to see where the child is presently. So these three things are there on our book.
So also, if we focus on because right now teaching shifted online, and there were not tools specifically for teachers to facilitate a concept. And so for that specific, so we have these simulations that are across concepts right now. So there are over 50 to 80 simulations mapped to each concepts. So teachers can actually use these tools to facilitate a concept, not just assess. Each of these tools are built in a manner that they can actually build the concept in a manner from the teacher's perspective. So all the teachers who want to look at these tools can directly sign in on our portal as a teacher, and they can access these tools in general and use them in the classroom for developing a concept.
Got it. So
Yeah.
basically, what you mean to say is that, whatever resources that you have created are more like interdisciplinary, that, they are closely linked to, what do you say?
You're mute. Yes. Nitin.
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
So what I was saying was, what you mean to say is with all the resources that you have developed, they are more like interdisciplinary. For example, each concept can also be used to, or transferred or translated to maybe a science lesson or a history lesson or something like that. Am I correct? Or if I'm
No, so they can be integrated to solve mathematical concept. So
oh,
see, those are very much concept specific simulation. If I want to build addition, there are simulations, couple of simulations for just to understand the concept of addition. And it is up to the teacher to help them. It is up to the teacher to integrate this in their classroom. So probably if they're taking a math class, science class,
right.
and they have taken one particular theme where there are a lot of things, and say probably they have to add something, and then at that point they can just come to this and integrate, develop the concept of mathematics. It is actually very much open ended, and at the discretion of the teachers, how do they want to actually use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. One of the questions that we received it, can you please share the path and link to access the resources?
Yes.
So what we'll do is, for all the attendees and the registration, we'll send a direct link to your website and all the details. So whoever is interested can, get in, log into your website and, follow the resources, whatever are available.
Correct.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's about it. We've really enjoyed what you've done, and I really like the portal that you've created in terms that make it really interesting for younger kids to, as it is. We've always had this stigma around maths, that maths is something that kids don't like and parents don't like helping their kids out with. But if you have the relevant resources available, which is that something you guys have created. I think it makes learning more fun for them, and like you said, it's more about feeding or increasing their curiosity, making kids ask questions,
True.
so that that makes them learn more and also recall and remember things
Correct.
more
Correct.
vividly.
Correct.
So that's what we need to understand now in these times.
True.
Yeah, I think let me just see if we have any other question. I think that's about it. Most of the questions are already answered. Cool. So thank you so much, Nitin and Shilpa, and thank you everyone who took out the time to attend today's session. We'll be sending out a recording of today's session and also the presentation link to all the attendees. And if there's any questions, they'll get in touch with you guys.
Definitely.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on board, and thank you everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. I'll close
Thank
the session.
you.
Thank you.